I think the entire process began in 1997. We had people from the community come in talking about our hopes and dreams, our fears, and some of the things that people enjoyed about IMS, wanted to see happen at IMS, and what their goals were. Out of that, we formed a group of about 25 people and went to kind of flush out the ideas that were happening, or that we had seen happen in the strategic planning sessions. We identified some strategies there that we wanted to see IMS move forward, or that the community wanted to see IMS move forward. And a couple of those had to do with fine arts, whether it was a fine arts program or fine arts facilities. Then in 1999, 2000, it was decided, let's move ahead. And so we started with fundraising. The board approved it. The board formally approved it. And we started moving ahead with fundraising. So that was in 2000, 2001. I recall at one small group meeting that we had in one of the churches that somebody asked how it's going to affect the mission of IMS. And if you look at the mission statement of IMS at the time, how is building a new state-of-the-art auditorium going to enhance that and further that mission? And at the time, that was our previous mission statement of providing a quality high school education and to each high school student and encouraging them to become disciples of Jesus Christ. And I remember my answer had something to do with my being a student here and not only being involved with basketball and soccer and track, but also being involved in choir and drama, academics, of course. But everything that happens works together to help the student, encourage students to become disciples of Christ. If a student can find him or herself, express themselves on the stage, what a wonderful thing. It gives people confidence. Singing in choirs, singing in mass choirs, and raising your voices to God, I think it all helps students become disciples of Christ and helps the entire experience. I remember you saying a little bit ago as we were talking about this, about when the board decided let's go ahead with it, and how you kind of went home and said, uh-oh, now what? I remember thinking that too.
I remember when the board took a vote and it was unanimous for moving ahead. And even though we had been thinking about it and talking about it, all of a sudden it was like, oh,
it's reality.
This is reality, and that means we're going to be heavily involved for some time.
And we knew it meant a lot of conversations, and in some cases it meant travel.
Right. Do you remember those events that we called It's About All?
Right.
And they were held in the foyer, and people were sitting on the steps going to the gym, and we had some really fun times there. Good
community involvement.
Right. But it took work to set it up. We had to move platforms in. Right. It just was not conducive to what we wanted.
And I think also the strong tradition of music that is evident in this community, I think people wanted to see that enhanced with good acoustics, good place to watch performances and see dramas and to be comfortable, to put air conditioning in it. I think there were a lot of factors that went into it, but I think it starts first and foremost with the community appreciating the arts and we wanting to further the arts programs. But yeah, the events, I mean, the community support was always there. The support for the arts and for music and drama, it was always there, and people made do.
We really didn't have a place to show our artwork, for example. I remember at one time art classes were up in those little rooms in the gymnasium, in front of the gym. One of the interesting things that happened in our planning was when we were trying to decide how many seats did we want in this auditorium. We were looking at the number 600 at one point, and then it was decided that, you know, when we dismiss from an event like this, people need a place to visit. They like to stand and talk, and it really generates a sense of community, which I feel very good about. I like the fact, for example, that on Good Friday nights, the churches come together and worship together here. And that's a positive, I think, in terms of building community.
Right.
But getting back to the foyer, we eventually decided we could do with less seats in order to make more space in the foyer for people when an event is over. And it still feels crowded out there.
Right.
But
it brings together people from the community that don't normally come onto the IMS campus.
it has been used for like church conferences, like the Central Plains Conference.
It's used on a daily basis for chapel.
It's been used for churches, weddings, funerals.
And I know McPrairie held their beginning of the year faculty staff retreat here.
I think this building has been very helpful, not only for large events or large group meetings, but also we have new classrooms in with a music room and art room. Now has an excellent facility as well as a gallery.
Hallelujah. camera out of here, you nincompoop.
Here we go.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Here we go.
Here they come.
When I was a child, my family would travel down to western Kentucky where my parents were born. There's a backwards old town that is often remembered so many times that my memories are worn. Daddy, won't you take me back to Muhlenberg County down by the Green River where paradise lay?
I will sing and give thanks to Thee for all the dangerous toils and snares that He has brought me up. He is my God, and I'll serve Him.
We got a hot station, but each little step here, all will do well here. That's why it's hot. Yahweh, love you, love you, love the sea.
You want the test, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you up. He never failed me yet. I know God is able to deliver in time of storm. I know that'll keep you safe from all earthly harm. One day when my weary soul is at rest, I'm going home to be forever blessed. And never doubt, Jesus will surely bring you up. He never failed me yet. I will sing His mercy every day, every hour. He gives me power. I will sing and give thanks to Thee for all the dangerous toils and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him. No matter what the test, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you up. He never failed me yet. Didn't my God deliver?
It's a good space for a lot of things to happen. I just think once the project was completed, or we felt like it was complete, I remember sitting in here for a number of years and just thinking of all the people that helped make it possible. And it wasn't just an effort among a few people. Yeah, we were heavily involved, and perhaps we gave leadership to it, but it can't happen without a lot of support from a lot of people. And some people gave literally from $10 to $2.25 million. And I remember talking about the widow's mite often and being grateful for each gift and each show of support that people gave.
For all the dangerous toils and snares that He has brought me out. He is my God, and I'll serve Him. No matter what the test, trust and never doubt. Jesus will surely bring you up. He never failed me yet. He never failed me. He never failed me. He never failed me. Oh, He never failed. He never failed me. He never failed me. Yes. He never failed me. He never failed me. Yes. He never failed me. He never failed me. Yes. He never failed me. He never failed me. Yes. He never failed me. He never
But I think what the instrumental people for the entire project, if you walk out of this facility and the donor wall over there, those are the people who are key to helping make this happen.
I would also remind us of how important Joe Schwarzenegger
Right?
was, because when contractors asked questions about what's buried out here in the electrical or water system, he knew he knew how things operated. Doug Slavo helped him out. I also appreciated Dave Lucina from McComas Lucina's. Even after he no longer owned the company, he was meeting with us and helping us in the planning. I remember hearing from an individual in the community who said when he comes here, he's just so pleased to be a part of a community effort that resulted in this kind of a space. It's not something that belongs just to a few. It's a community facility.
The best, and I bid you good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night, good night, good night. And I bid you good night, good night, good night, good night, good night.